Hello, hello, hello. Good afternoon. We are here at Web Summit Day 2 with Julian, who is CDO of Unicoin.
Correct.
How are you today?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
I'm great. So tell us, you've been enjoying Web Summit, I suppose.
I think it's been a great summit. Yeah, it's been really interesting. It's been some fantastic people here. There's been a real interesting mix around the panels and the guests, the keynotes, and the people who have attended as well. So it's been a really enjoyable couple of days. Yeah.
Wonderful. I'm so happy to hear that you're enjoying yourself. So you were just telling me you used to be in traditional finance.
Yes.
Now you are part of the Web3 space.
That's right, yeah. So my background, I came to Dubai 25 years ago, and I was working in mergers and acquisitions for
M&A.
a huge global organization, and we were looking for some merger and acquisitions opportunities here, set up a business. And then my career sort of transitioned into private equity and venture capital and things like that. And then I recently have just come into the sort of the crypto market, the crypto space, if you like. And it's very interesting. I think that we're at a real sort of generational shift of the market, the technology, the opportunities and things like that. And I think it's really bringing different minds, different thoughts in from traditional finance or from different types of business background into this space. And yeah, and I'm one of those. Yeah.
Oh, welcome into the space.
Thank
We're
you.
very happy to have you. So why do you think it's important to have these newcomers, traditional finance or Web2 newcomers into the Web3 space?
I think it comes from a number of reasons, right? So firstly, no business, no industry can survive with a very narrow focus and a very sort of a niche sort of view of the world. And every single industry, particularly in tech, it only advances by new ideas and new thoughts and new approaches, right? So that's the first one. The second one is, and I mentioned it in my keynote, there are between 300, 400 million people who are using crypto every day, right? If you look at that from, you do the same kind of math and look at it from traditional investments, traditional financial products, it's billions, right? So there's an enormous gap to fill. How do you fill that gap? You bring people into the industry who can create products that can really drive that adoption and drive that interest in cryptocurrency, in the second generation of cryptocurrency, and that's what we're trying to do with Unicoin. Yes.
So how does that Unicoin fill this gap that you're talking about?
Very good question.
Yes.
So we are a second generation asset-backed cryptocurrency. Okay. So if you think about the first generation of cryptocurrencies, they've been very successful, but they've been very volatile. They've been up and down, and that maybe has given people hesitancy, if you like, in wanting to invest their hard-earned money, the everyday man in the street. Not the kind of person who invests for a living, but the everyday person. How can I bring cryptocurrency into my portfolio, my pension portfolio? I don't feel like I can because it's so volatile and I don't really understand it. So we approach it from a completely different angle. What if we created a cryptocurrency that was backed by real-life assets, right? So real estate, investments, equity stakes and investments in startup companies, those kinds of things, right? So people can really understand that our coin has a real intrinsic value, right? It's a piece of a real estate development, it's a piece of a company and so on. And so that's one side of it. Then the other side of it, if you think about it, venture capital, which is a bit of my background, it was always the preserve of, very sort of, large corporations or very wealthy people, and the everyday person maybe didn't have the opportunity to invest in the next Apple or invest in the next Google or something like that, right? So we're giving people that opportunity. We invest our coins into startup companies, the next unicorns, right? The next billion-dollar companies. And everybody who invests in Unicoin can invest in those potential huge growth stories and the next generation of whether it be tech or pharma tech or whatever it may be. And to do that, we have a really interesting approach. We have our own TV show. We have our own brand.
Amazing.
Called Unicorn Hunters, which is a little bit like a Shark Tank or a Dragon's Den type of format. And we have some fantastic judges on that as well. People like Steve Wozniak and Rosa Rios, who's the Treasurer of the United States, our founders and so on. And that again is an incredible opportunity. So far 300 million views of that show around the world on all various streaming platforms. And people get that opportunity to really understand the coin, understand crypto, understand venture capital, and also understand the investment opportunities that are open to everybody, which they just would never have before.
That's wonderful. So this work that you're doing is extremely important for the industry, as we can all hear. Now, we're back to Wow Summit today. Tell me one word that comes to mind when you think of Wow Summit.
That's a great question, and I think it's one word. Innovative. There
Innovative.
You go. Innovative.
Amazing. Great. I love it. Love it. Okay, great. So we're going to do one more thing. We're going to say wow, looking at that camera.
Yeah.
On the count of three. Okay. 1, 2, 3.
Wow.